Okay, this is the first tutorial of the Eat the Dots game. It's very similar to the type of games that PacMan, etc. are based on. Okay, so this is just a very simple Eat the Dots game, and we're going to be moving into things like a very basic understanding of types, okay, and functions. Okay, so we'll start by setting the graphics. So let's put that as the startup. Okay, so we'll set our graphics mode to 640 by 480, and we want it 16-bit, and we want it, let's put it in a window for now. Okay, and set the back buffer, set buffer to the back buffer, sorry, set buffer back buffer, so it draws to the back buffer and then press it to the front buffer of the screen. Okay, and then we want our initialization. Okay, and we want them all global variables so that they appear in the functions as well. So we want global, and we're going to have several variables. We're going to have status for the game status, and we're going to set that equal to 0 for the main title screen. Okay, and when it's 1, it will be playing the game. So that's a game status, that's what that variable is. And we've got x, which is a floating point value, so it's not an integer. So it can be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, etc., etc. And so can our y variable. We'll set that starting equal to 0 as well. And then we've got a speed, which is the speed at which the player can move, and we also want that to be a floating point variable, and we'll start it equal to 1. And we've also got the direction of the player, and we'll start that equal to 1. Notice I put a comma. I could have put global, I could have put it like this, global status 1, global x, and done it down like this, but this is another way in which you can specify it. Okay, so I could have done it as a list, or I can just put a comma between each one and just keep going. Okay, so moving on to the main loop. So let's put that in, main loop. And while we're on the main loop, I'll just put in functions, because they come after the main loop. Okay, so in our main loop, which goes in here, we're going to go while not key hit 1. 1 is the scan code for the escape key. Okay, so if I press the escape key, then it will exit the game. Obviously, when at the end of the while not key hit loop, so it loops down like that. So it keeps on looping. So everything in here, all the code we put in here between the while and the when, will continue until the escape key is pressed. So it keeps on doing it. Okay, so we want to, first thing we want to do is refresh the screen. Okay, and we do this by clearing the screen and then flip the back buffer to the front buffer. So whatever it's drawn on the back buffer, we want to flip it to the front buffer, otherwise we won't see anything. Okay, actually we should put flip and then clear the screen. Okay, you can do it this way because either way is fine, but it's going to work better like this, trust me. Okay, so we've updated our back buffer to the front buffer, and also we've cleared the screen. Okay, now we want our color. We're going to set our color to maximum red and maximum green, which will give us a pinky color. Okay, notice we haven't actually drawn anything to the screen yet. We can use our rectangle command, and we have to specify the origin of the rectangle and the the other end of the rectangle. So it's the top right hand corner of the rectangle and the top left hand corner and the bottom right hand corner, and we want it to cover the entire screen. And so we're going to put that, and we're going to put it equal to 0. Okay, so it's a rectangle around the whole screen. Okay, next thing we want to do as part of the main loop is that we want to select game status. So we want to know if the game is waiting on the title screen for us to start playing it, or if we're actually in the game. Okay, so we'll select the game status, and we'll use the locate. Well, we can't use the locate command because that splits 2D. Sorry, we use text, and we'll locate it at 100 100, and then we will put in the variable, the string, press enter to start. Okay, if we press the enter key, that is scan code number 28, then we start the game, and we're going to use the function start game. Okay, so we're going to program that later, but that's the function that we're going to use. Okay, and I probably want to put a capital here just to show that it's actually a word, initiate game or start the game. Okay, so we want that as our case 0. Okay, and our case 1, we want to update player. So this is going to be the function that actually moves the player. Okay, so we're either going to be presented with a press enter to start, and then it's going to start the game, or we're going to actually be able to play the game. Okay, so it's going to be one of these two cases. So we need a variable and a command to select between these two statuses, or these two cases of the game. So we simply put in select. The select variable allows us to select between different cases. Okay, and we need a variable, and our variable that we specified above was status. Okay, so status is initially set to 0. Okay, we've put that up here. The status is set to 0. So as soon as we run the game, it's going to come up with press enter to start. Okay. Okay, so in the function section we haven't actually programmed these functions, initiate game and update player. If we run it now, it's going to say function not found. So let's just put that in now, function. So we'll declare the function in the function section, and function initiate game end function. Oops, end function. Okay, so there's nothing in the initiate game function. We've just put it in there so we don't get the error. We haven't programmed it yet. And update player function. Okay, so both these functions are empty. Okay, they're completely empty, they don't do anything yet. So when we run the game, we'll see if our select status when without while. Okay, while not key hit. Okay, I've forgotten to end the select. Okay, sorry about that, with every select status. In fact, if I actually indent this so you know that it's part of the select status, and we can actually close that command and select, sorry, you have to end the select command with end select. So it's not a loop, but it closes the command, like if, end if, and while, and when. Okay? So that's why I've indented it there. Okay? And we probably want to indent all of this because it's part of the while not key hit loop. Okay? Part of the main loop. Okay, just so it's neater and tidier. Okay? Okay, so if we run it now, we should be able to select the status. Okay, press enter to start. Do I have an enter key? And it will go on to that. But the reason it's not moving is because we haven't programmed the initiate game, so it's just going to do nothing when we press the enter key. I should put then initiate game. Okay, and you can see it does nothing at all. Okay, so that's the main structure that we've started, and next time I am going to go into the initiate game function and the update player function, which is going to move the player up, down, left, right, and the initiate game, obviously it's going to start the game with all the initial variables, where the player starts, what speed they have, and direction, and what the game status is. Okay,